I'm not going to lie. Objectively, you did not raise hell like this during your congressional races.
Are you being objective, Jordan? I did raise hell. What you talking
Not
about?
like this. Not like this. You certainly. I mean, I understood why. Cleveland's a pretty
My
pro
district,
Biden.
yeah, very much.
Cleveland's a pro Biden, pro Democratic area. But to the people who are now listening to you and like, do you not to ask?
But
do you think it
also,
was
Jordan, wait a minute. I gotta, and I don't usually cut off the host, but I want to say this. They painted me as an angry black woman. I raised all kinds of hell. They used some of the most stereotypical tropes against me. I'm a chocolate sister too. So we talk about racism and anti-blackness. We don't talk about colorism. They spent over $6 million against me in 2 election cycles. They tried to paint me as anti-Semitic. They lied. They did every single thing that they did, including this president endorsing in this race. I mean, who does that? On the president's desk is the Ukraine war, inflation, all kinds of stuff, but they slide on his desk, oh, that Nina Turner. Everything came at me. So no, I did, and I have a record and a reputation. As you know, Jordan, you and I have been together for a long time. You've been on the trail with me from the Sanders campaign to this very moment. You know me. I am a hell-raising humanitarian. I might not run hot all the time. And it's very exhausting to be the only one running hot. And then to have people use those tropes against you, it's not easy.
Right.
I haven't changed, but I'm a multifaceted person. I need people to understand that.
And I found it incredible that they painted you as an anti-Semite, quite anti-Semitic, to go around the country for 5 years trying to elect the first Jewish president.
2 presidential elections, yes, with the
Absolutely.
one and only Senator Bernard Sanders, who would have been the first president of Jewish descent in the United States of America. And I will say, I have a lot of Jewish supporters all across this country. I really do. But what those folks did to win the race, not once, but twice, and they come in the neighborhoods all over America. We see that even Summer Lee, Congresswoman-elect, she had a 25-point lead, and as you recall, and how they were able to walk that lead down. And if they had more time, we probably would not have gotten the outcome that we got with her winning. They got a playbook. They call it the Ohio 11th. That's what these people are doing all over the country. So I need the progressive movement to understand. It's not just the progressive with the titles in the Congress. I need our movement to understand that we have got to be more agile and we got to be more disciplined. And we can't sit on the sidelines when it comes to this. We cannot and must not be complicit in our own demise.
And lastly, I'll follow up with what I asked you the night of the primary defeat. You brought up 2024. If the Democratic Party does not change, if the Democratic Party does not fight, I think young people are fleeing. Even polls are showing
the African Americans. That's right.
Right.
That's exactly right.
I don't know what your plans are, but would you be open, whether it's yourself or another progressive, a third party independent race?
I mean, just stay tuned, Jordan. I'm doing what I do. And, I never shy away from a fight. I've certainly had people all over this country ask me to do
Give
that.
the people more. Give the people more.
I have. Just stay tuned. I'm just not going to sit. I tell you, I'm not going to sit idly by and continue to let neoliberals play games with the people in this country. That I'm not going to do. So stay tuned.
And one last thing, I promise. Can you just talk about Ohio? You're talking about Republican sanity. Did I read right that they are pushing a bill right now where the Holocaust would be taught? Both sides would be taught, including the perspective of the German soldiers?
You absolutely read that right. My state is officially the worst state, save for the fact that I'm here. And some people I love, the worst state in the union. You couple that nonsense with the 10-year-old baby. Ohio is gone. And it's really a shame. It's more than a shame. I'm trying to keep it as PG as I can, Jordan. Yeah. I'm out. My hair is on fire, and I ain't gonna pretend like it's not. But yeah, you read that right.
Well, I kept you 10 minutes longer than I said I would, so sorry about that.
Okay.
Thank you, Nina Turner, for joining us. To the people.
My pleasure. Jordan, can I say, I want to thank you for staying on the Flint water crisis. I want to thank you for, no matter what people said, you stayed true to that mission to give voice to the people in Flint, Michigan who have been poisoned and children in that city who will never recover. You got Governor Snyder and his cohorts who've just gotten off scot-free, because guess what? It don't matter if you poison and try to kill Black people and other poor people. It just doesn't matter. That's another thing the feds could be doing. I would be raining down hellfire on them. Yeah, the GOP poison poor black.
Literally, the
Literally,
charges were just dismissed against Governor Snyder.
I know it's outrageous, but thank you for never relenting on that story. When many people wouldn't talk about it anymore, you and your team stayed true to that, and I respect you and I appreciate it very much, and I'm sure the people in Flint appreciate it even more.
Absolutely, thank you. And by the way, we're taking a road trip soon. The Inflation Nation, where we're going to be talking to the people. I'm probably going to have to drive through Ohio because, God, it's on fire in Ohio. Not in a good way.
No,
so,
not in a good
I'll be
way.
driving down there. And I would encourage everyone, whether you live in Ohio or not, you got to pay attention to the protests for Jayland Walker right now.
Yes, you do.
George Floyd, rightly so. That video we watched created not just a national, a global outrage. But if you watch this video of this 25-year-old black man assassinated, there's no other way to put it. If you're there, you should be protesting. If you're nearby, you need to get involved because nothing is going to change in this country. But, I don't know how you reform that, Senator Turner. I really don't. But it's outrageous. So
yeah, it is
definitely
outrageous. There are things that can be done. Policy created this situation, and policy can change it. And you got to hold people accountable. You just can't sit back and think that was like a regular standard procedures. No, that was out of line in every single way. And I'm glad you brought him back up again, Jordan. I would be remiss if we both didn't say to that family that's suffering more than anybody else, they deserve justice for their loved one. They do. And part of getting justice is right. We got to stay in the streets. We got to push for policy changes. And if we don't have the right people in office to do it, then we got to elect some other people who are willing to do it. Because when elected officials tell you that they can't do a thing, they are inviting you to vote for somebody else, as far as I'm concerned. Jayland deserves justice because we don't want another Jayland. In Cleveland, we had the Brelow case, Jordan. You probably remember that case. In 2012, a couple, Timothy and Melissa, in a vehicle. The police claimed they were being shot at. It turns out they had an older car, a carburetor type of car, was backfiring. They chased them from Cleveland to East Cleveland. They fired into their car 137 times. There's a documentary on Netflix I encourage you to go watch. It's called 137 Shots. Go watch it. And one officer in particular, Brelow, hence the Brelow case, jumped onto the hood of their car and shot point blank range 40 times. What happened to Jayland is as close in my mind in recent history, Jordan, that I can get to that. And it turns out they had no weapons on them at all. And those officers got away scot-free. There has to be some accountability and transparency from the judiciary to the streets. And we know that there are good people in law enforcement. We're not debating that. We got that. We know that it can be unsafe out here. We know that there are bad people in the world. Got all of that. But what should not happen is the police officers being judge, jury, and executioner. People should be able to have their day in court. And we must admit as a nation that the way Black people are treated when it comes to this legal system from the beginning of this country to this moment is different. And we got work to do. It's going to take policy. It's going to take courage. It's going to take fight. But we can't relent. So yes, vote. But we got to make some demands, Jordan. My last point, because now I'm keeping myself over.
Thanks for watching, and make sure to tune in to Status Coup's daily live stream Monday through Thursday at 5 o'clock Eastern Time and Fridays at 4 o'clock Eastern Time.